my honor to be here today. First of all, I would like to know in the audience, how many of you are here to look for a job today? Okay. Because the reason I'm asking is my talk today is not about looking for a job. It's more about understanding your long-term career. So if you're focused, if you're not interested in understanding how to build your long-term career, your focus and your interest is only about finding an employer to give you a paycheck, then you can leave this room right now. Okay. Okay. So we're still waiting for the slides to come up. I would like to know more about my audience. So how many of you have been working in the industry for more than 10 years? Okay, more than half. Okay. And can anybody tell me what the difference is between jobs and career? Have you thought about any of you thought about this question? What's the difference between a job and a career? Yes?
So my understanding is like the job is always now or like a specific task. But the career is like a series of jobs and like kind of growing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very close. Thank you very much. So you got a very key point. Well, a career is a journey, okay? A journey, it means it has a beginning, a starting point, and it takes time, and it can develop, it can change, it can grow, and it's gonna lead you to somewhere, okay? Because I've been doing career coaching for many years. The reason why I transitioned my own career from technical job. I used to work in high tech for over 10 years. I was with Cisco for 10 years. So it's a long story, but it's my own experience why I decided to transition my own career to do what I'm doing today was because I finally got to really understand and know myself better and know what I want to do. And a career, well, how to find your career direction, it involves a lot of factors. But today, I think I'm going to just use very short, probably 20 minutes, to give you a very high-level picture about how you can do this, or for yourself, like DIY, or have a very high-level understanding. So after I've been doing the career coaching for so many years, I kind of figured out that there are three important aspects I would like people to look at when they think about their long-term career. The first aspect is about you as a person, the identity. Okay, when I talk about identity, it's like me as a person, what I like, who I am, what I'm good at, okay, what I really want in my life. So this is all about me, myself. And the second aspect is me in time. Me in time means, because we just gave the definition about career, it has something to do with timing. So, for example, when you just graduated from school in your early 20s, your life goals are different. And when you are in your 40s, when you are in your 50s, your life goals are different, so are your career goals. So when you're talking about your career, time is a very important aspect and factor to think about. And the third aspect is me in space. It's what I mean by space means all your surrounding. It's outside you as a person. It includes all other factors that you cannot control, including the economic environment, including the job market, including the people you work with. Okay, so those are the factors in the environment. So today, because this is just a very quick presentation or talk to introduce you how to think about these factors after you leave this room. The takeaway for you is to have a deeper thought about your own career, thinking about this. So remember, the first aspect is all about yourself. How much do you know about yourself? For example, if right now I'm going to ask you, what are your strengths? If I throw this question to you, can anybody in 10 seconds give me the answers? Anybody wants to give a try? Right now, just like 10 seconds, can anybody answer this question? What are your strengths? Quickly. You are all writing your resumes, building your resumes, right? So you're supposed to know the answer. Can anybody volunteers to answer this question? Okay, that's fine. I think it's the Asian culture. People are just would rather keep quiet and don't want to speak up. But you can think about this question in your mind. If you are being asked, what are your strengths? How can you answer this question? Just give me 3 points that can define you, that are very unique and distinct, your features, so I can know you better. But the reason why I want you to think about this question is you have to know yourself better. Who are you? So this is the very fundamental aspect for any career coaching or career counseling. We always start with this very first step is to know about you. What about you? I'm listing only 4 factors here, but when we are really doing career coaching, there are many more factors than just this 4. But the fundamental essential ones are, first, when I say who I am, I mean everybody is born with some innate qualities or personalities or preferences that determine what they prefer to live, what they prefer to work on, what they prefer to how they understand the world, how they work with people. This pretty much more than 50% was determined by our personalities. So in our process of doing career coaching, analyzing the client's personalities and inborn psychological qualities are very important, because like we have 50 people here. I can tell you that if I go talk to each one of you, I can identify at least 30 or maybe more different types of interest, qualities, personality, preferences, and what you would like to do. Everyone's different, right? So how much do you know about yourself? So this is the first step. The second step is what I love. What I love is your interest. Interests like you're interested in technology, you're interested in talking or working with people, or you're interested in going to nature, or you're interested in traveling, or these are all our interests. Because in my work, I sometimes some of my clients, they are younger adults or teenagers, and what I usually tell the parents for kids or for younger adults, it's very common that people, they think they will just follow their interest or their passion. They think what they really like, they will just blindly follow that. But sometimes it's not necessarily true, because what you love, what you like, you're interested in, doesn't mean that you have that strength to be able to succeed. Okay, so this actually it's more complicated. It's not just like follow your passion. Okay, so passion alone is not enough, but it's still important because only when you are doing something you are interested in, then you can be motivated. So the motivation is very important. So it's still listed here. And the next step is, okay, what I have. When I say what I have, it means my skills. When I say skills, that means what you have been trained for, like what have you learned in school, what trainings you have got, the technical skills, soft skill, whatever you have, you have been equipped to work. Okay, that's what you have, and you can contribute. And the fourth aspect is what I care. When I say what I care, it means my value. For example, value is very personal. Everybody has different value system. For example, somebody might think my work time flexibility is very important. Like I would like to find a job that I can work flexibly. But for some people, that might not be an important factor. They are okay to work like from 9 to 5 or be very fixed schedule. But for some people, money is very important. I got to make 200,000 every year. Or some people, they might think, okay, it's important, it's essential to make money, but the priority is not the first one. So, or you might say, okay, the family, the work-life balance, or location where I live or where I work. There are many values in our value system we can consider, and this all determine how you choose a job and how you design your career. Okay, so these four things are very essential for you to think about your long-term career, or when you are actually going for your next job. So I would encourage you to take some time to think about these things when you have time. So the previous slide was about me as a person, and then next is about me in time. Like we are all living in a time space, and we are affected by time, by our age. As I just mentioned, so for a new grads in their 20s, what would their life goals be? Find a job, make some money, buy a house, get married, okay, establish a family, okay. And for people in their 30s and 50s, they probably have been working for a decade or two, and what they want is to advance their career, to be more developed, to be able to climb up the organizational ladder or whatever. Or there are other aspects in their life, like they would like to explore different opportunities or maybe something else. For people above age of 50, well, from the research and the psychological view, and also my own experience when doing coaching and consulting, usually people above age of 50, their concerns would start to shift from their own job, the success of their own job or career, to something broader, like how they can contribute to the people around them, to their family, or even to the community or society. Their focus start to feel that, okay, I'm in the midpoint of my life, and what's the meaning? What can I do to make the rest of my life more meaningful? So for people above mid-age, to them the meaning of career and meaning of life would be quite different from young people. They start to look at the community and the society more often, and what they can pass down to the next generation to help them. So as a professional coach and consultant's experience, this is what I have been seeing. There's a shift of the career goals and life goals when people, in people's lifespan, when they grow older and older. So when you are designing and thinking about your own career, you need to take this into consideration as well. When I'm at a certain age, what's the most important thing for me at this stage, but it might change in next 5 years or 10 years. So this slide is just to give you a quick understanding that our life is not static, it's dynamic, and we grow physically and we grow psychologically, and we grow when our society, our environment changes as well. And for people who are in their midlife or have reached the midlife, you probably can feel and know that physically and psychologically you are no longer the same when you are in your 20s, like in many ways of thinking about things, right? Yeah. Okay. So the third aspect is me in the space. What kind of space, what kind of environment I'm in. So for this, you need to look outside, external to yourself, to see what's surrounding you, about other people and the environment. So in the next few slides, I'm going to just give you a very quick and high-level information about the job market, or what we'll be seeing or facing maybe in the next 5 or 10 years. There's a survey that says in 2020, the top skills needed in the workers will be what? The top 3. Number 1 is complex problem solving. Number 2, critical thinking. Number 3, creativity. The answers listed here were different from 20 years ago, okay? Because our society changes, and the global world, the environment changes. The technology is changing as well. So actually, I think you probably have heard that because of artificial intelligence, 50% of the jobs that we are familiar with today will be gone probably in 10 or 20 years. That means if you have children, think about what kind of world or job market they will be facing when they are in their 30s. At that time, I guarantee there are many occupations or jobs, titles that you have never heard of today, because the world is totally different from what we're familiar with today. Yeah. So, and because of the changes, yes? Question?
So yeah, like schools and higher education, they don't necessarily teach those 3 skills or areas. So how do children prepare or will prepare for the future?
Yeah, very good question. What do you think? Do you have kids?
Yes.
So if I'm asking you this question, just give me something.
Well, I'm worried because I feel they're not prepared for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, they get good grades, but they don't really know anything. I don't see them prepared in any of those 3 areas. I don't know. Personally, I don't, now in retrospect, I don't value higher education that much.
That's a very interesting point about higher education. Actually, that's a totally different subject or topic. Actually, recently I'm writing a book. It's about careers related, but also in that book, I'm going to touch the topic about higher education. I think it's possible. I cannot say I'm 100% sure, but it's possible. In a few decades, I think our higher education, the need for higher education, would decrease, and our talent, how the employers or companies they look for talents wouldn't be from higher education anymore, because the whole structure of how they look for talents and the skills they need in the future, actually, you are right. They don't acquire those skills from schools unless it's a very special school that focuses on building these skills. And so if you pay attention, there are some kind of out-of-line schools or some special schools, they are doing something different. Their programs are different. And the way they educate young people are different. But okay, that's totally a different topic. But because today, my audience, you are job seekers, you are concerned about your own career. So I just encourage you to think about how you can build your skills to be better in complex problem solving. Since it's complex, that means it's not a simple problem. How to solve complex problem? There are many more skills behind this. Okay, so how do you apply whatever you have learned and you have used in the workplace to integrate those skills, okay, and to perform and present yourself in your job? And critical thinking. What does critical thinking mean? It means you have the ability to think out of the box, not just follow whatever you are given, no matter it's information or policy or structure or process or whatever. Those things are necessary in companies, in organizations. However, because of the whole environment, remember this part I'm talking about, space, environment. It keeps changing. The technology is changing. So critical thinking is an ability for you to be able to adapt to the changes all the time and to be prepared for the challenges. Okay, that means whenever you are working on something, you are in an environment, you always challenge. Do I have to do it this way? Do I have to follow it this way? Is there a better way to do this job? Okay. Creativity. So it's kind of similar and related to the critical thinking. It involves thinking out of the box and to challenge yourself or challenge what you are used to. Okay. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but you can take notes and think about this when you go back. And this slide, it's okay, you cannot see the text. I'm going to tell you the key aspects of the future of work. There are two main things. I have been emphasizing this over and over again. It's the transformation of new technologies. It's going to change how we work and how we live, and what's needed in the job market in the future. And the second thing is shift in power. That means in the future, the organization or companies or corporates or employers, the way they work, it won't be like the traditional, more hierarchical way. Instead, they are going to shift the power to the employees, but in a different way. And we are not fully aware yet what that would be. But we definitely know, because in the HR research or in this area, we have been seeing the change and shift in the marketplace. that how companies are going to hire talents, how they are looking for talents, it's shifting. So yes.
Can you give us an example of this shift?
Well, it's like this part is related to my previous slide, like what kind of people they are looking for. And my next slide, I'm going to talk about millennials or generations. So just be patient for a little while. But to conclude, this slide is telling you that there's a co-evolution. So the evolution, it evolves. Okay, it evolves. It's a co-evolution of technology, society, and culture. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to quickly talk about the workers, the employees. Like what we have today sitting here, I think we have people from different generations. When we're doing, when the human resource people, they are understanding the people they're hiring, they kind of look at this as well to know, okay, I think most of the employees today probably are, you know, baby boomers. Baby boomers are the generation, they are born between 1945 and 1964. And Generation X is from 1965 to 1979. So probably in the early 50s and 40s right now. Generation Y, or we call it millennials, they were born after 1980s. And this is the generation that are very used to the technology. That technology is part of their childhood. So they are very good in knowing how to use technology. And this new generation, they are still, well, kids, but they will be going into the job market very soon as well. And how this demographic is going to change our job market. So in 2009, baby boomers consist of 42%, almost 50%, half of the workplace, human resource, human capital. And Generation X at that time was about a third, less than a third. And millennials, who is like who are born after 1984. By the way, so in here, in the audience today, who are you are of Generation Y? Born after 1984? Can you show your hands? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. Okay. So, like a few years ago, they consist of like less than 30%. But this year, 2018, millennials, they consist of 50% of our workplace workers. Baby boomers are retiring. And Generation X, where do they go?
Retire.
They're thinking about retiring. they hope they can retire, okay. Or they're just out. Yes?
I was thinking maybe self-employee or something, because they already have the ability to maybe hire themselves.
Yes, yeah, that's a good point. And the gentleman in the back?
Yeah, so it seems Gen X is forgotten, and the baby boomers are the parents of the millennials. So how does that dynamic work for the job between baby boomers and millennials and Gen X being left out? Because, I mean, how does that influence the work dynamic? They're parents, right?
Kind of, yes, yes.
And it's a big, if you add up the millennials and the boomers, it's huge.
Okay, so that's a very interesting question. And I mean, in my field, in organizational psychology, there are quite some research about this. I don't have time to tell you the details, but quickly just your question reminds me of one thing that I've heard of in a research finding, that actually baby boomers get along with the millennials better than with Generation X. You know why? Because interestingly, if you said there's a personality, if there's a personality profile or whatever characteristics, baby boomers' characteristics are closer to, if you look at the American history and what they have experienced, okay, in 60s, that actually what they look for and the culture they try to build actually is closer to millennials. Generation X is itself is a generation that is very conservative, very actually Generation X is what grow up in an environment that is more they tend to follow the rules and policies and to be very rigid and then baby boomers actually. So you are talking about this, but that's not my point today to talk about this. But it's just interesting to let you know, and we can pretty much predict that by 2025, millennials will make up 75%, 3/4 of the workforce. And then we need to think, if you are not millennials, then think about where you will be at that time or what you will be doing. It's smart to think about it right now, okay? So this slide, we don't have to talk about this. This is more for the company or for the HR person. They want to know what millennials they are looking for. When they are looking for a job, what kind of companies or cultures that can attract them. So the HR people that are trying to adjust or change or decorate the company culture to attract millennials. So if you have been working in a corporate or big organization, you probably, if you are there long enough, you probably have seen the change along the way, how the company culture has been shifting. It's because it's the trend. So when we talk about our career, for baby boomers or even older generation, their career is like a train. Like once you get on board, you don't get off until you get to the destination, and it's a long journey. You just stay on the train as long as possible until it's the end, right? It's like 30 years. You can stay in a company for 30 or 40 years until you retire. And then for the next generation, the career probably is more like a bus, that you hop on the bus, you kind of know where you are going, and then you probably would do some transfer, okay, or you will hop off the bus or to change the bus. And if you find out that, okay, I'm on the wrong bus, it's not taking me to where I'm going, then I will make the decision to get off the bus. Nowadays, actually, most people, you should look at your career like you are the driver of a vehicle, of your own vehicle, like you are the driver. Because no matter you are taking a train or taking a bus, you are not the driver. You are just riding on a vehicle that somebody is driving, okay? But right now, what you should think about your career is you can be the driver of your career. And in the future, people, they probably will take their career like riding motorcycles. That means they maneuver very quickly and change whatever they're doing very quickly. And they can adapt to the the environment and locations or whatever, wherever they're going very quickly. So you can see the involvement of how different generations, they are treating their careers. So the reason I'm showing you the slide and telling you this is when you are thinking about your own career journey or design for the future, you need to take this into consideration. For example, like how many of you have heard of the term slashes? Any of you know what slashes are? Slashes is a new term that probably younger people would know this better, because right now if you ask a young man or a young woman, what do you do? Their answers probably is like, I'm an advertising strategist, I play guitar, and I'm a startup co-founder, ///. What does that mean? I'm a blah 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 / blah 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 / blah 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 /. Yes, they have multiple occupations, they have multiple jobs, they multitask. And from multiple jobs, they learn multiple things. They build multiple skills in multiple speeds. And that's how next generation, they are going to perform their job and treat their career. So that they are called slashes. They no longer tell people that, okay, I'm an engineer, period. Okay, I'm a bank teller, period. I'm a salesperson, period. No, they prefer to take on multiple opportunities and jobs and paths. So again, I need to wrap up. So this is your takeaway. Think about your career in these three aspects. Me, as a person, everything. My personality, what I'm good at, what I prefer, what I'm interested in, what I care, what I have to offer. Okay, and then which life stage I'm at right now, and what is going to change in next 10 years in my life, and then my environment, or what kind of the job market and the workforce is changing to. So I hope this presentation will give you some insight, and you can ponder about your own career when you go back. Okay, thank you.